Hello everyone, here we are again. Yesterday I was working on the Sky Hunter vehicle here. Basically today I would like to go on with that. For me, I'm pretty new to a lot of Unreal Engine things, so I had to rely a lot on ChatGPT and had to try some things out. And I think that would be a bit boring to watch. That's why I skipped the stream yesterday. But I think now I have something really interesting. Basically what we managed to do, we have a controller for driving around. We are able to rotate the cabin. And we are able to rotate the gun. There are still some issues with that maybe I will try to fix today myself without ChatGPT, but it provided a lot of help yesterday. It's insane how useful it is. What I did here as well, basically, I used the first person and third person camera that was already present in the example file, because this is a default Unreal Engine vehicle example file and they have some stuff preset. I used that to do this. Basically I have an aiming camera on my gun. I downloaded some free particle effects. No sound effects yet. As you can hear, you hear nothing. There are more plans for the next versions of that. But I think for now I'm pretty happy with what I have. I can drive around, I can shoot things. I could adjust some things. Like I said, it's pretty new for me. But I'm trying to learn by doing. So basically, as you can see here, I stole some functions from the default vehicle setup. Basically everything that has this gray border around it is stolen. This one is a bit modified. Because in the default example you could just look around your vehicle. Maybe I can present that. Let me check real quick. This is the vehicle template, blueprints, off-road car. Let's pull this one in. This is the default one that comes with this example. If you use this one as our starting vehicle, as you can see, you can use the mouse to look around the vehicle. It's limited how far you can look, and the camera springs back automatically. If you do nothing, the camera just goes back. I mean, there are a lot of fancy things going on with this one. You have some proper suspension. You have springs that are modeled and moved together with the tires. I want to introduce something like that in the future as well, but for now we keep it very simple. So what I did for my blueprint, let's delete this one, so we start with my vehicle again. What I did for my blueprint was to modify it. I have a function to look around, basically left and right, so it doesn't spring back. And this one is only for the cabin itself. And then I have input action for looking up and down. And this one is for the gun. So now, when we move the vehicle, with mouse left and right we move the cabin, and with mouse up and down we move the gun. In the default example, when I started with that, I had a problem that basically it was connected to this node, and what this caused was, when we switch back to the gun, extremely wonky movement. As you can see, I'm pulling my mouse smoothly, but the gun movement doesn't fit at all. I asked ChatGPT how to fix that. It had an idea, and it told me to change this one to ongoing. Basically, this one only calculates it when the event is triggered, and this one calculates it all the time. So we do it like this now, and then we try again and see what happens. So nothing happens at all. That's bad. That's not what we wanted. And as I can see, my projectile has no collision. That needs to be fixed as well. So we go back to our blueprint, and maybe I really need to connect both of them. I'm not sure. So yeah, we can move it up and down again, and it moves much smoother than before. But it doesn't react to small movements, and that's what's bothering me a bit. I mean, I have to move my mouse by quite a bit so it actually starts moving. And we still have no collision on our projectiles, and I don't know why. But let's check. So basically the way it works, let's go back to here. Blueprints, autocannon projectile. This is what our projectile looks right now. I just stole something from a free projectile, basically visual effect pack. I will create a proper projectile later on. But for now I'm stuck with that. And I would like to use this sphere as my collision component, and to see where actually I can add collision. Collision simulation generates hit events. Collision enabled. Yes, actually I think my projectile has no collision, so it doesn't hit anything. Let me check again. Let's start the game. Oh, I have some visitors in my chat. Hello everyone. Don't expect too much. I'm new to streaming, I'm pretty new to game developing. Usually I'm just doing 3D modeling and stuff, like just some concept art. But now I'm trying to create a small vehicular roguelite. And for me it's just passing the time and see what happens, so there's no real goal behind it. But maybe you like it. Who knows? Oh, that's nice to hear. What are you working on, if I might ask? Wait. Yeah, of course you need something to do. like always. Basically, what I started the stream on a week ago or something was to work on hard surface designs, stuff like that. Or like that. That's the one you see on the screen. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, for me, I'm less of a 3D designer, more like a concept artist. For me, it's trying to work reference free and trying to basically find out ways to make stuff look interesting. So for me, as soon as people come with stuff like polycount, mesh and wireframe and topology, UV maps, then I'm completely overwhelmed. I really want to learn it in the long run because, like I said, right now, for me, I use Blender Bridge for plasticity to convert my models to Unreal Engine or to any kind of rendering software. But basically, when I look at them, this doesn't tell me anything. Is this good? Is this bad? What the fuck is happening? I mean, I know. And I can assume this isn't good or this isn't good. But for me, it's just like trying to find out. And I think I find out the best by doing stuff. So. That's basically what I'm doing. Because like I said, I usually I'm coming from CAD, from engineering. So I was drawing. Yes, it's a lot of polygons, I know. But like I said, I'm usually coming from modeling, mounting plates and stuff like that. So basically engineering stuff. And now I want to make tanks and robots and stuff like this. It isn't much, okay. I like to hear that. Let me show you something else then, in this case. I just need to find out where everything is. Yes. This was one of the models I was working a lot on. And for me, I would like to see it one day in my game, but I have no idea where to start to animate it and stuff like that. So I wanted to keep it simple for now. Let's go for a fresh. So that's what we are looking right now. Let's go here. And for me, it's more like the process of creating something unique. I'm not a guy who wants to basically model M4 for the 600th time, because if you go to ArtStation, if you go to Fab, if you go to anything, there are a lot of models that are basically the same. I mean, the people are incredibly talented, but I want to create something unique that was basically never there before. Ah, yeah, there I can see. Yeah, but I think for a modeler like that, that has a lot of components basically. And a lot of different things around that. I think that's okay. Yes, it's good to know that. It's good to know that. What I'm thinking, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would say for my game, for example, if I go to my, yeah, I think LODs are important as well. That's what I want to learn as well, how to make them correctly. That's absolutely important. Uh, but my way of thinking is, if I look at my Sky Hunter here, at this model, this is your main vehicle basically. That's what the player sees all the time. And I think I can afford to have a bit more polygons on this one because that's in your face all the time. That's your main character, you want to identify with it and stuff like that. This one, for example, uh, this should be a boss type enemy. So you don't have 200 of them at the field at the same time. What you have 200 of at the field at the same time, for example, was the drone that I showed before. And let me find it again. I really need to sort this out. Drive, Armored Mayhem, Spectre. Yeah, for example, this one. This should be one of the base enemies, and with this one as well, of course. For example, I have the rockets here, and every single rocket is modeled and stuff like that. I mean, it's fairly simple shape, but there's still, you don't need that. A player will never see that. So you can just delete all of them, make some textures, and it will still look nice. But if we move that to Blender, let me get rid of this one, refresh. Yeah, so we are at 33,000 faces for this one. So I think we can afford to have a bit of them on the field. And like I said before, if we remove all the rockets and stuff like that, actually, let me try it real quick. Rockets, I don't know, can I just disable them? Let's go back to Blender. Refresh. Yeah, we don't have the rockets right now. Yeah, it's 26,000 now. And then we can still play around with our settings. Yeah, it's 3,000 faces right now. And I think it still looks good for what it is. So I can imagine to having 50 of those at the same time on the field, being angry at you. And that's basically what I'm working on right now, to find this middle ground between concept design and being actually able to create models that can perform in a game. There are two solutions. Either I learn it myself, or later on the road I basically can find someone who I can just feed my concept designs and he will make proper 3D models out of it. What do you mean? What exactly is cool? Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I have a lot of those concepts actually that I can show off a bit. Because the way I started it, I wanted to create an unofficial mode for Generation Zero game that was called Aegis Project. And what basically, and that's the Sky Hunter. You saw that one already? Yeah, I'm a bit familiar basically with baking and normal maps. That's where I'm working on right now, because of course what The only thing I can do right now, because I just have so much time with a full-time job and trying to be able to learn what I'm doing, uh, and the only thing I can do right now is use Blender's smart UV projection and then use procedural maps in Substance Painter. I would love to know more, I would love to be able to do more, but I think that's in the future. And for example, yeah, let's hope this works. Let's hope I didn't move anything. Yes. Basically, as you can see, I think anyone who is a professional would just start crying seeing that. But I'm allowed to do that because I'm not a professional. And I think for what I'm doing, for making a concept, for trying to visualize what I want to see in the end, I think it's looking good. Good enough, let me put it this way. Of course, you still have some issues here and there. For example, here you have some broken geometry, and you have that all over the place. You have shading issues because the UV map isn't made right, and you have this everywhere. You have the small bugs. But one day, maybe, I will be able to do it the proper way. Yeah, basically making things work is what I earn my money with in my main job, in my full-time job. So I just use the same approach with everything I'm doing. Making things work. I think that's important. And for me, I'm not trying to sell myself as the best 3D designer ever, and like no one is able to teach me anything or stuff like that. No, I know where I am, I know what I can do, and I just stick to it. Wait, can I show? I think I can show off some more. Reagan Ghost Crawler. Strike. Yes. Yeah, I think I like this one a lot as well. This one looks fun. Yeah, actually, there's a reason why I went for a vehicle game. I mean, yes, I make my models, I do my textures the way I can do textures, so there's not much about it, but vehicles are kinda easy in the end of the day, because the only thing I have to do, I have to go to my vehicle plugin for Unreal Engine. I have to point at things for my vehicle base, my wheels and stuff like that. It rigs everything automatically. Then I just can import it in Unreal Engine. So basically that's how it's set up right now, because I want to make everything modular. After a while, so that's my base vehicle, and I don't have to rig too much, I don't have to animate, I can make things rotate, I can make, yeah, exactly. Procedural input, like bone animation, I tried it years ago as I was modding some games, and that's a completely different can of worms that I don't have the time to go into that right now. I really don't. So I just stick to what I can do. And the plan in the end of the day is, if you look at this one, it is painful. Yeah, but what isn't painful in this context? So basically the way it works right now, I have one fixed gun at the vehicle, so it's fixed onto that. And how it's supposed to look at the end of the day. Yes, I want to open a new file, please. Drive Sky Hunter. So, as you already can see, there are some different guns on that. And what we have here, so let's disable both of those. We have a nice flamethrower. I have an ion cannon for that. This one is the one I'm using right now in game. So basically just a autocannon. A big ass railgun. A laser cannon for close range stuff. A rocket launcher with a lot of small rockets, unguided. And a 40mm Gauss cannon. And basically what it's supposed to be in the end, I want to have all weapons modular. And I want to create different rarities for the weapons. So a player during a game can set up his vehicle the way he wants to. Either for close combat, long range combat, stuff like that. And the main goal of this whole thing is for the vehicle to be the main character, basically. So like in roguelites like Gunfire or RoboQuest, stuff like this, where you play characters, here your vehicle has to be that character. And what I want to have is wheeled. Basically to provide player with different vehicles. No, this is the old version. Let me open the new version. I think it's this one. Yeah, it is this one. So basically, as you can see here, this is the same cannon that we used on the other vehicle, but it's just looking different. And what I want to do is to give all vehicles access to the same weapons, but depending on vehicle class, the weapons should have different advantages and disadvantages. But I think that's future music. I would like to stick to the Sky Hunter now and make this one run the way it's supposed to, and see what I learn in the process. I think for me, there is no goal. The way there is the goal. That's what I expect from it. To learn things, maybe to meet some cool people who are interested in what I'm doing, and just spend my time with some kind of purpose. Yes, I think purpose is a good word for it. Because as you can see, this is relatively simple, everything of that. But if you combine it all together, I think you can create something wonderful. And I think I have a lot of things that are yes, breaking my computer. Yes, Substance Painter was eating a lot of stuff. Yeah, and actually for me, I started the first time I started with this game idea was 12 years ago, but then I set the bar way too high, like way too high. What I wanted to do was a 5 against 5 multiplayer MOBA with matchmaking, with competitive modes, with everything around that, and it took myself some time to realize, okay, you cannot do this alone. People have whole studios to do that, but I was still young, and that's why I was thinking, yeah, okay, I can do everything. And yeah, as I realized, no, you can't. Instead of stepping down and maybe set myself a more realistic goal, I just stopped doing it at all. And a couple of months ago, I was just thinking, yeah, okay, it's time to spend your time more productive. And then I started to do things like that. And I remembered my old project. And now it's supposed to be a small roguelike. So I think, yes, it's a lot of work as well. So the word just a roguelike is kind of like not quite fitting. It's still a lot of work, but I'm actually looking forward to it, and the way I see it is realistic to get somewhere. Yeah, I get even more people in the chat. Really happy to see all of you guys. Yeah, and basically for everyone who is working with game development right now, uh, especially if you do it alone, you need to get some kind of AI assistance. It's helpful if you know what you're doing, of course, but it can get out so much of this routine work. It can save you so much time. So for example, everything you're seeing here, except of the map, I did with ChatGPT yesterday, and it worked out quite good. So that's kind of fun. So basically what I wanted to do today was as you can see what we have right now, we have this gun standalone. And what I would like to do today is to add another gun. I don't want to make it work yet. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after tomorrow. But I just think my vehicle looks a bit naked on the left side right now, because there's nothing there that would help. And I think that looks a bit stupid. So what I would like to give to my vehicle is this one. And the way I would like to do that is quite easy. I would go to you don't even have to rig it, because it's static meshes. Like in Unreal Engine, you can make it a skeletal mesh, of course, but this one is completely not rigged. You just set a pivot on the spot you want it to rotate on, and then you attach it to your main blueprint. So what I did here, I attached the camera on it as well, but there's no bones in that, there's no rigging in that. It just slapped onto that. It will get more complicated if you have to simulate recoil and stuff like that, but as long as something is just rotating or just moving, you can simulate it with blueprints. Because the way, no, we want to go to event graph. So basically what it's doing, when I trigger my look up function, I get the rotation of the of my gun right socket, and basically everything that I do is I input it, I have a multiplier, and then I do a lot of maths, and then I set it to a rotator that sets the relative rotation of this thing without any bones, without any animations. So it doesn't have to be complicated. So, and what, yes, I was here. Basically, The thing is, I don't have any textures for this Gatling gun yet. So this will come in later. So we grab this one. We delete everything that's not the minigun. And what I would like to do for now, I will fix it later, but for now I would like to join this to one model. I cannot join it to one model. Why can I join it to one model? Join. 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 This will be fixed in the future, but for now I just keep it as one model. Because of course I want stuff to rotate, I want it to look fancy. But for now I just want to have a concept of what I'm doing. And by nowhere am I a Blender expert as well, so I'm usually just using Blender to convert stuff. But what I know what I have to do is to move the origin of this thing. Oh no, actually I don't. I want to scale it first. And what I have here, import FBX Skyhunter cabin. Yes, we're looking toward X, so we have to rotate 90 degrees. And now I want to scale it so it looks proper. And yes, probably I'm doing a lot of things the wrong way. I'm happy if people tell me that. So there's absolutely never any offense taken on anything like that. Because I'm here to learn. So, yes, I think that would look very good. Well, what I need to do now is to move the origin. Go to wireframe mode. Up. Towards the middle of the mount that I have here. So now where was it? I think it was N item. Yes, exactly. And okay, with this origin 0 0 0. Now it was object. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. So I know how I did it the last time, and I know how it worked. And I'm pretty sure there will always be a better way. And if I learn it someday, then it's awesome. If I don't, I don't. So let's see what happens. So now we have this model, and we are going to export that to FBX. No, I think actually I would like to throw a simple texture onto that. Yes, I would like to do that. So now I need to find out how to UV edit that. I think I'm on the good, yes, Smart UV project. Okay. Yes, in case someone is offended, I'm sorry. So now we write an FBX, we go to the Skyhunter Gatling cannon. Export FBX. Now we go back to Painter. And actually I would like to... Hello Benedict. Gatling cannon. Okay. Something's wrong. No, I didn't want that. New. Select. Gatling cannon. Yes. Oh, yeah. I probably know what's wrong. Let me delete all of that. Okay. Face. Yes. Okay. Try it again. Okay. File, export. Let's try OBJ this time. Skyhunter Gatling cannon. Export OBJ. Yes, thank you. A new one. Select. And let's go for it. Oh yes, something did work. Yeah, okay. I think I fucked up somewhere. Yes, it absolutely looks like I fucked up somewhere. Let's try to see what happens if I do this. Oh yeah. Nothing good happens. I see it already. Yes, okay, there's a lot of overlapping stuff. In this case I try to cheat again. I do a lot of cheating. I try to unwrap it automatically. And hope it will be good enough for a procedural texture that I just can slap on it, that it looks like something. I promise I will make it look nice one day, but not now. Numbers. Come on. Yes, thank you. Yeah, we all have, we all know people that want you to do it the right way. And I mean, yes, in the end of the day, you're supposed to do it the right way. Especially if you try to sell it. But if you don't, Just do it the way you know how to do it. Okay, something happened. Like I said, I know this isn't the right way to do things. Yes, it's absolutely not the right way to do things. And it will probably look like ass. But yeah, I mean, yes, you have a lot of things that help you out. A lot of. But the way I see it, if you rely on them too much, then you get what you have, the issue what you have with a lot of modern games. You rely so much on automatic optimizations that your game runs like shit. Even simple games, there are a lot of even simple games that just run like shit. And if you're okay with that, then yes, of course. I think for me it's like there's a reason why I absolutely don't give a damn right now of what I'm doing, because I'm in the prototyping phase. I'm not trying to release a game. I'm trying to learn how things work. That's the only thing I'm working on. So there's not much I ask of myself. But in the end of the day, if I would try to release a game on Steam, if I would let other people in on my game and make them pay for that, then I would love to make it the proper way. Then there's a lot of interesting systems, there's a lot of interesting shortcuts, but some of them can be used as crutches, basically. And if you do it wrong, and then, like you said, you have awesome games. Oh, wait. But they just struggle with optimization. And that's no fun. And especially if you buy a new game and you were looking forward to that, and you have a good PC, and the game still looks like shit and runs like shit, then you feel cheated. And when a player, someone feels cheated for the first time, it will be almost impossible to get him back the second time. There are few games that manage to do that. Very few. Export. So, let's go back to Blender. File, new, file, new, general. Import, FBX, Skyhunter. No, that wasn't here. Yeah, of course. There are a lot of features today that allow you to make stuff look good fast. But like, for example, for me, I'm not thinking about, okay, which resolution do I want to use here? I mean, if I want to do it the right way, I should have to split this model, and some parts of it need a higher resolution texture, some part of it can use a lower resolution texture. And I'm not there yet. I know it in theory that it's supposed to work like that. I want to get there. But for example, I was playing the original Stalker games. It was around, uh, when was it released? 20 years ago? I think not yet. I think around 18 years ago. And back in the day, uh, all the computers were much less powerful. Much less powerful. So you really had to look after optimization. And what I was working with, I was modding Stalker back in the days, for a while. Mm. They I don't want to get too deep into Stalker 2 because there are a lot of things that came in between, and if we want to expand to that, we can get all political, and I really want to keep this channel a politics-free zone. We don't get there here. We are talking about 3D stuff, and we are talking about modeling stuff, and that's the only thing we talk about. But basically, there was an artifact that was called, I think it was called the Fireball or something like that. And the way it looked like, it was a sphere with a ton of subdivisions that weren't even needed. I think it had around of 30,000 polygons for absolutely no reason. I mean, it was a sphere. It was a round ball with a texture. I was amazed that it somehow came into the game, actually. And that's comparable to what's happening right now with a lot of games. So where did I put this mesh? Sky Hunter painted meshes, of course, thank you. Import FBX, painted meshes, grinder Gatling cannon. Wait, that's small. Why is this so small? Yeah, and basically you have a ton of things today that allow you to throw together a prototype. Basically, if you go to Unreal Engine, I'm not a programmer. I know how to read code a bit. I did some C++ back in the days, basically. But for me, using blueprints is easy because I see what's happening. Sure, I have to watch tutorials, I have to ask ChatGPT, I have to do something. In the end of the day, you can create a game that's running completely on blueprints. But when you got this game released, maybe it's better before you got this game released. You should grab someone, you should get some money, you should get a budget, and make it work the proper way, because blueprints are easy to modify, but they eat up a lot of performance. It's just how it is, and for me, I'm talking from a very amateur point of view. But that's what a lot of people who are working with this engine for years say. In the end, you want all of this, you want it into your nice, boring C++ scripts. Because, of course, if I have something like this, put some enemies on there, put the timer on here, put some more vehicles on there, it wouldn't matter that much in the end of the day. But if you create a proper, maybe not a AAA game, maybe a AA game, maybe something bigger that has a story, that has some kind of a bit more of content. And if you do everything blueprint-wise, then you give away a lot of performance. And I think what people forgot today is how important performance was back in the days, because not many people are actually thinking about it. Yeah, the blueprints, like I said, blueprints aren't bad. Blueprints aren't bad generally. But in the end of the day, for example, if you look at World of Tanks, World of Tanks is a very successful game, and there's one reason why it was so incredibly successful, really, because you could run it on any PC. It didn't matter. You had a computer, it was able to run World of Tanks. Full stop, no questions asked. And that's how they could just generate a player base that wasn't comparable to anyone else. Same with World of Warcraft back in the day. Same with the original Counter-Strike. Like for now, I could run. I forgot what the Counter-Strike. Global Offensive. Yes, of course. I could run Global Offensive on 300 FPS, and I was happy doing that. And what I'm seeing now is basically, why doesn't it import my FBX file? I'm a bit confused. Import FBX. And now if I play CS2, I get FPS drops to 90 or stuff like that. And for a competitive game, that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. I'm confused. Import FBX. Painted meshes. Gatling cannon. Yes, thank you. So what I'm trying to say, if you want to have a successful game, you want to reach as many people as you can. You don't want to force your players to upgrade their PCs every second year so they can play your game. I mean, you can do that if you have a deal with Nvidia or AMD. But if you want to have a successful game in the long run, you need to make sure any toaster can run it. And like I said, League of Legends, World of Tanks, anything like that. They work because everyone can run them. So let's export. Did it export? Yeah, okay, it did export. So everything on performance that you can get, you should use. It's that easy. Yes, here. It's not a skeletal mesh. Yes, yes, yes. Create new materials. Import. Thank you. So, and now I will make it very easy for myself because I have a socket here already that my gun is attached to. And since I don't have swappable guns yet, I will just reuse it because it doesn't matter where we are on this plane. It's only... wait a second. I need to find out how Twitch works so I can remove the spammers. So basically what I'm trying to say, I take this socket and slap the static mesh on it. Like here. So add static mesh. Skyhunter Gatling cannon. Yes, exactly. Thank you. And now I grab this Skyhunter Gatling cannon and move it towards here. Oh, it's a bit big. I mean, yes, it's supposed to be big, but not that big. Can I scale it down a bit here? Yeah, thank you. That was easy. Yes, let's see if it works the way I expect it to work. Yes, it does work the way I expect it to work. Let me throw a texture on that. Did it create a material for that? Yeah, that's still what I'm trying to find out is how materials work on this one. Details, yes, material 0. Because sometimes they get imported automatically and sometimes they don't. That's what I want to understand. I keep it simple for now. I just go with the base color. I hope we did have it here. Gatling cannon base color. Yeah, I know how to make them, but for example, as I imported this one, I need to find out which settings do I use in Blender while exporting them, so it assigns them automatically in Engine. I need to read some tutorials on that. Because, for example, this one was textured automatically, so it assigned all the materials automatically and all the textures it could find. The base color, yes, thank you. And the emissive textures and stuff like that. And with this one, as you can see, with this one it didn't. So I need to make it manually. And I will make it manually now. Base color, I think I can do dip. Gatling cannon base texture sample RGB base color. Oi. Yeah. I don't care who's gonna complain about that. Okay. Where is my Gatling cannon? Yeah, thank you. We got some color on that. Yeah, it looks like shit, and I'm okay with that for now. I achieved what I wanted to achieve today. Let me test drive it a bit. Yeah. I think that looks good for now. Yes. So basically tomorrow I would put left click onto left gun, right click on the right gun. Only thing I would try to test now is maybe it will look better if I... nay, I didn't want to do that. Yeah, I'm dropping off in a few minutes as well. I just want to check something, because what I like to do is to put the camera somewhere around here. Yes. Lower the FOV to maybe 20. Yes. Have a good night. Thank you for being here. You're always welcome. So, play from here. Oh, yes, exactly. So I would just need an overlay on this camera, and then I could have some World of Tanks like targeting mode. And my projectiles still don't have any collision, but that will be fixable in the future. Yeah, I think I'm happy for today. There's still a lot of things that I want to make. I want to make this whole setup modular, so I can attach all the weapons that I showed you guys before and have an inventory for this vehicle, so I can swap things on the fly. I want to introduce my first enemies, rarity systems, skill systems. There's a lot of things to come. So I think you can stick here for the next 5 to 10 years. Alright guys, have a nice day everyone, or a nice night, depending on where you are. And I hope I see you tomorrow again. Bye bye. Bye.